Good morning, YouTube. West Texas Prepper here. Continuing with a series of videos that I've been working on for a while. Been jotting down some notes. Still don't know what, I've shot two in a row here, so this is the second one. This is what are we prepping for? I still don't know what I'm going to title this series yet. I might just go with I don't know yet, so I'm sort of having a brain freeze. Long night last night. First in the series was why. Why are we doing what we're doing? This next one, the second part in the series, this is part two, is what are we prepping for? And there again, I've sort of brainstormed this and have a list of things that I've thought about. And once again, this is not an all-inclusive list of what all we're prepping for. Your thoughts and ideas are going to depend on your situation. Your situation is not my situation. But hopefully this will be some things that we're going to think about, that you think about, that I think about in doing what we do. The what for. The why covered some of that, and it's going to overlap a little bit with the why. But the what for, I think, we need to be serious about the what for. We have these shows on cable. I think Doomsday Preppers. And I don't have cable, so I can't address anything in the shows, just from the little clips and things that I've seen. And it's sort of frustrating that these people get made fun of, and their reasons for what they do are their reasons. The reasons for what I do are my reasons, and you might agree, you might disagree. But I think that's the great thing about this country, is we all have that individual freedom to do what we think we need to do. And I'm not going to get into specifics. There's going to be a lot of generalities on, there again, why we do what we do. But the what for, and that's what this video is, the what for, what are we prepping for, is going to run the gamut. Like I said, this is no all-inclusive list by any means. It's going to vary. Go back and look at the why. There are going to be a lot of variables in there. What are we prepping for? One of the first things that came to mind on my list were natural disasters. One of the things that we have to be concerned about out here in West Texas are tornadoes. Now, I don't know what the exact odds are of my particular town being hit by a tornado any particular year, but that's one of the things that we have to be prepared for. So that's always top on my list, is natural disasters. In some parts of the country, you're going to have to deal with more natural disasters than others. I know in the Midwest you have to deal with flooding, tornadoes, a lot of things, snow. The East Coast, Florida, the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf of Texas, hurricanes. Then you have the tornadoes from the hurricanes. So out in California, fires, flooding, mudslides, earthquakes. So what are we prepping for? It's all going to be different, but I think natural disasters, I think for me, is one of the more legitimate reasons why I do what I do. Another one, we have the SHTF, the WROL situations that a lot of people are concerned about. But you go in and look at the SHTF, I think a tornado hitting your town would justify an SHTF. Not only does it hit the fan, but it gets splattered everywhere, and so you got a lot of things to worry about there. So your SHTF, and I know some people have made some videos out there. What is your SHTF? That would be mine. Natural disaster, especially out here in West Texas. That would be the one thing. We do have, believe it or not, we do have some flooding every once in a while, but it's not very long last, maybe 2 days. Where in some parts of the country, when they have flooding, it's going to be a week, 2 weeks before the water recedes and goes away. So, there again, what is your WROL? What is your SHTF? And it's going to vary from your location in the country. But there again, that's something we need to look at. I think when I look at this what for, one of the things that I had to sort of classify is what situations would be most likely to occur where I live. There are other people that are other people out there that are making videos that I think are very valuable information. They don't apply to me out here where I live. One gentleman was making videos about being in more congested urban areas and having to deal with rail cars and chemical spills and hazmat type things. That's a legitimate concern from the part of the country that this gentleman lives in. Not so much a concern for me out here in West Texas. You know, we can have a hazardous material spill, and it, you know, depending on where it happens, it's not going to affect a lot of people. It'll be a generalized thing, and because of the population being so spread out, it's not going to affect a lot of people. So for me, prepping is a hazmat situation at the top of my list. Not necessarily. Am I prepared to deal with that? Yes, I've taken steps to deal with some of those things with a hazmat. But it's, you know, again, is it likely to occur where I live? Not really. And I think that's where we sort of have to go in and put some pencil to paper. You know, what are the things that legitimately can happen where I live? And what's the likelihood of that happening? I've lived out here in West Texas all my life, and I can't go back and remember a hazmat situation where, you know, a train is derailed and spilled chemicals and done some things like that, or a train car has exploded like you see in some of these other major metropolitan areas. It just hasn't happened. And so legitimately, is it likely to occur? Yeah, I mean, it could, but the likelihood of it in my time period of living here, it hasn't happened. Or not that I can recall. I'm not saying that it hasn't, but it hasn't been a major one. So there again, the likelihood of that happening is not really going to affect me. So that's not something that I would be prepping for. Earthquakes. Hey, you know, we're out in West Texas. We've had some earthquakes out here. I think the biggest one we've had is a 4.2. You know, that rattles some things around, but you know, legitimately that's not a severe enough thing. But yeah, go in and look at those situations most likely to occur. And I think that should give you some guidelines on what you're trying to do. Economic reasons, you know, job loss, not being able to work. I think that's more of a financial prep. But there again, that's something that we have done in our family, is that we've made those arrangements for job loss and things like that, more from a financial standpoint than anything else. Being able to provide and pay what we need to pay for a year, that's one of the things that we've made preparations for. What else do I have on my list here? I think the key thing is you need to look at your situation specifically, and don't compare yourself to somebody that lives 3,000 miles away or 2,000 miles away, sometimes even 100 miles away. You really can't go and make a fair comparison to you and somebody else. I love watching everybody else's videos here on YouTube. I've gained a lot of knowledge and information that has been very helpful to me, has filled in some holes that I needed to have filled in. But their situation doesn't apply to me. And a lot of it just has to do with location where we live. So that's something you need to look at your specific situation and go in and look at the legitimate aspects of what can happen. There again, go back and watch my why video, and it'll hopefully give you some guidance on that too. Thanks again, YouTube. West Texas Prepper here, getting ready to, looks like rain's starting to clear up. I'm going to get back to work and get back to it. Signing off. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Please leave your comments, good, bad, indifferent. Like the video if you like it. Leave those comments for me, and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thanks again. West Texas Prepper signing off. Keep prepping. Start from where you are. Keep your powder dry. Thanks a lot, YouTube.